Review code provided by Decibel PR. Story of Seasons Friends in Mineral Town is a remake of Harvest Moon Friends in Mineral Town and More Friends in Mineral Town. If that confuses you, please check out a video I'll link in the description. I've got a review to get onto. As one of the earlier games in this farming simulation series, it's pretty simple. You have a seasonal variety of crops you can plant, which grow on their own cycle and can be shipped for profit. You start with a barn and coop, so after earning enough money, you can purchase chickens, cows with strawberry coffee and fruit varieties having been added, sheep, and the new additions of alpacas and Angora rabbits to create animal produce. Around and outside your farm, you can collect materials for upgrades to expand your buildings, allowing for things like a kitchen or a cheese maker. There's 2 mines in the game, one only accessible in winter. While both are 255 floors long, you won't need to go that far to get the ore to upgrade your tools, which will then give you the ability to do things like break stronger rocks or water more squares at once. Beyond stumps, your own ability will be a barrier, as you have a limited amount of stamina per day, which depletes when you use tools. You can also build fatigue from working in the rain or late at night. Sleeping or eating items like colour grass and medicine can refill these, and from the get-go in this game there's a hot spring nearby that can replenish you with enough time. While it's tempting to work into the wee hours of the morning, neglecting yourself can result in fainting and you'll lose a whole day. You can get power berries which increase your stamina and can be earned from things like winning a derby, tilling a random patch of field on your farm, or giving enough gifts to mythical beings. You can employ near free help too. Once you've befriended the nature sprites by throwing enough flower or coloured grass at them, they can help you with chores on your farm. The more often they do these tasks, the better they'll be, but they can only work 7 days straight at the most, so you'll either have to split them up or spend a few days a month watering your entire field. They can be trained up through a few different minigames that get harder the further their skill, but eventually I didn't bother with it. While they make the game incredibly easy, it also frees you from too much monotony and lets you enjoy the festival days without stress. But if you are wanting to keep some crops or turn milk into cheese, you better do it before the sprite gets there. Other than your farm, you have the various residents of Mineral Town functioning as shopkeepers, gossipers, children with an odd appreciation for grape juice, and possible spouses. Some of the more major changes involve the dating aspect, as there is now same-sex marriage, 2 new marriage candidates, and a dating system. First, you'll woo them with a gift a day, with favoured items increasing their affection faster, and meeting certain conditions, you'll come across the hard events where you're given something to respond to with either a negative or positive result on their affection points. But not only do you need a couple house upgrades and a big bed before marriage, you now need to unlock an event to get a special flower you use to make them your boy or girlfriend, after which there'll be a couple more hard events. This is a nice addition, as we get some new scenes with old dating candidates and get a better feel for the relationship. For the sake of review, I went after Rick, as his favourite item involves throwing an egg in the hot spring. Like the original, they and your eventual child don't do much, but having the family events is cute. Even if my kid looks nothing like me or my husband, she seems to be based on the original female protagonist when I picked the new look. In the original, you could lose a marriage candidate to a rival, which helped the town feel a bit more lively, and for some reason it's not in this game, even though you'll still see the rival cutscenes. Befriending the villagers will give you benefits too, like the ability to sell things directly to Juan for varying money, or seeing other events between characters. Mineral Town is relatively small, though they added a new section for material gathering, which makes the wait for your horse to grow up significantly less painful. I almost forgot you can fish. It's quite simple, but another way to get items or create profit. The change of seasons not only wilts old crops, unless you employ a sneaky fainting trick, but brings new festivals. Some are still relatively bare, like the Moo Moo Festival where your cows are judged merely on hearts, or the dating-oriented ones. Those that had mini-games like horse racing and chicken sumo are still there. Pets are back, but instead of 1 dog you can have several, as once Van appears each season, he'll sell pets based on the season like a capybara. These all act the same and can be trained to fetch for a competition. Having played DS before Mineral Town, I can say the latter is one of, if not the easiest game in the series, which makes the addition of an easy mode a bit silly to me. As one of the few games without a story, there's not terribly much to strive for after a couple years. There are 3 vacation homes, 2 of which are gifts, and they're not worth going after. While it's another place to sleep, you can't decorate them, and waking up you'll have to walk back to your farm without your horse. If you do want to strive to complete the game, you're better off pursuing the Harvest Goddess or Kappa for marriage, as they'll require you to do things like ship 1 of every item and reach the bottom of the mines before they'll even marry you, and not stay in your house. Still, at least I got a good 30 hours out of the game before I decided I should go for another save for the goddess. This is a relatively straight remake, even keeping certain money-making methods in the game, plus some much needed quality of life adjustments like easily switching tools. I'm glad that time is still paused indoors. Most of the changes are for the better. I wish I could upset people with gold lumber, but at least now it's actually usable. It also seems animals cannot get sick or die anymore, because apparently this game wasn't easy enough. I'm not really a fan of the graphical style they went for. While I can understand this isn't just a port, so they weren't going to keep the pixel art, they should have gotten whoever did the graphics of the beautiful Doraemon Story of Seasons game, because in comparison, this looks more like a mobile game, but playing it isn't so bad. The redesigns are a mixed bag. Most aren't terrible, but I refuse to go after Kappa since they've changed his design so drastically, despite the personality being the same. One really minor thing is that I don't really like all the little nose holes I can see on everyone's portraits. The old sound effects are still in place even over talking, no voice acting, but I don't mind as they probably wouldn't have dubbed it if they did. The music is largely the same, but obviously it was redone as it's not limited to Game Boy Advance anymore. You can purchase records to listen to tracks from other games, which are also slightly different, but still good. Perhaps in exchange for the not so impressive visuals, the game has excellent performance. I don't know how to tell frame rates myself, but it seems good and there's practically no loading beyond the start of a new day or reading save files. Going between locations in any Mineral Town will just make the screen black over you, but then reopen in the new location in just 1 second. Perhaps 2 for the hot springs or entering events. In handheld, I did have one issue if I went near Kappa Lake with the horse on a snowy day. I would get some really awful slowdown, which doesn't ruin anything, but it stood out a lot more with this game's stellar performance. The only bugs I've come across are some fun exploits that have been in the other language versions for a while, so hopefully they won't get patched out. My major annoyance with this game is the collision around animals, as I can walk through chickens and rabbits but not other livestock. This was quite annoying in the morning as cows would clip into each other, making it difficult to care for them, more so on days I can't go outside. Though they can be pushed, it's annoying that it happens at all. I especially have trouble getting around my horse sometimes. Story of Seasons Friends in Mineral Town is a good remake of one of the beloved classics in the series. While the visuals could have been better, it didn't detract from the overall experience. It's a nice, easy game about small town life on your farm. Just a little issue with getting around animals and removing rival marriages bothered me. I give Story of Seasons Friends in Mineral Town a 7 out of 10. Bye!